This next episode is called
Desertion of the Dinobots.
Pod 2.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, your bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original G1 series. This is your APDC episode number 144, and today we're covering episode 38, Desertion of the Dinobots, Part 2. This is your host, Aaron, and with me are my fabulous co-hosts. First, I'd like to introduce the man who did not draw First Blood, Mr. Caleb Carter.
Hello, how you doing?
Second, of course, a man who unflinchingly faces corny 80s white boys rap battles, Ryan Top That Jet.
Did you watch Top That?
Nope, I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure didn't.
And hope everybody had a safe Christmas. What the fuck did you guys do for Christmas?
I stayed home, opened gifts, played with my children. My son got an Xbox, and my other son got a Switch. So there's video games in the house.
I thought you were going to say Switchblade for some reason.
Yeah, got a Switchblade. I got a Ring. I installed a Ring.
The
doorbell
device?
The doorbell. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw the video of your son acting.
Bro Cells hamming it up. And all the neighborhood kids are now running up, ringing the doorbell, looking in the camera, and running away.
Delightful. That's not terrifying.
Yeah, it's not terrifying at all,
It would
really.
be for
It's just
me.
annoying. Yeah, but things outside, the outside scares you.
The specific reason I don't have a security system is I don't want to know what happens out there. Like, I feel that I'm secure enough, like nobody's going to be able to easily break in, which is why I have like 150-watt equivalent bulbs in the front and the back blazing at night, like a football stadium, because it makes it uninviting.
I think if they broke into your house, they'd immediately be like, "Oh my god!" and run back out.
It's good stuff. But I know that I would watch security footage and see something weird, and then it would traumatize me to thinking about it.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, that was my Christmas.
That's cool. You got the new Xbox, like the new thing, like the newest gen?
I think so. I don't know.
Your kid's going to go to school, and he's going to be like, I got an Xbox, and they're going to be like, the Xbox 5? And he's like, it's just one.
He
I think
knows,
I have
he
Halo.
knows what it is. I don't know. It's the first video game consoles they've ever received.
Well, good for them. The Switch is fun. What games did you get?
Super Smash Brothers.
That's people love that.
Mm-hmm.
Never played.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's really fun.
Not a fan.
And
Never played. Not a fan.
and then there's some Star Wars game on the Xbox that that Bro Cells is playing, which is actually really fun to watch.
Star Wars.
Video games have come a long way. I couldn't believe it.
Turns out.
It was interesting.
It's come a long way from Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah. No, I could get
It's not
romance.
just text-based battling.
I never thought about that. I should get the newest version of Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
It's
I'm
probably
sure there is one.
It's probably too advanced for you. You won't like the animation.
No, you're
these
right. No, you're
graphics.
right. I like the old original one. I do like the original
On the
one.
Switch, you may be able to get the old original one.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, look it up. Ryan, what did you do?
West and I had a suckling duck meal.
It looked golden and delicious. It looked like a Peking. No, it wasn't red enough for a Peking duck.
It
but
wasn't a Peking duck. It was a Cantonese style duck, which is similar in early prep, but not the same in execution. Which Peking duck's very hard to do at home. But we did that. We watched movies. Like I said just a little bit ago, we watched Batman Returns, which is a Christmas movie. And we watched Nightmare Before Christmas and a bunch of other stuff. And I had some booze.
Sounds delightful. What is West's drink of choice?
She actually doesn't drink right now. She hasn't drank for about 2 years.
Water.
She likes water. She likes sparkling mineral water specifically.
Does that contribute to her being fit as fuck? I mean, I assume working out does as well.
You been looking at her?
I just know that she works out a lot. and
Yeah,
she's
no,
in good shape.
She she just does not enjoy drinking alcohol anymore. I wish I could get there.
Yeah,
After watching Ryan for a few years,
Yeah,
she's
you might be
decided not
turned
to
off
drink
as well.
anymore.
I considered dialing it back because I've just been feeling inflamed a lot lately.
It is inflammatory.
Yes, it is.
I have as well. I've chosen trying to mitigate everything else except my alcohol intake to take care of it.
And with
I
that,
might have a problem.
And with that, what's the drink for this episode?
Well, before we get there, I will say I also did the 23andMe thing.
Oh,
Okay.
what? Tell us about your
I got it
findings.
for like a half price. I'm sure you'll be shocked. I'm 99.4% European.
Yeah. What
How
kind of
deep does it get into that?
what kind of regions are we talking
I mean,
about?
there's lots of actual ethnicities in Europe. Like Irish culture is actually like 3 different ethnicities.
Well, it's just basically like regions. Like British is one of the main ones. The other one that I found interesting was 25% Polish.
That's
Like there was a very heavy concentration in Poland in the last several hundred years, from like 100 years ago.
Do you think you might be Jewish?
No, I'm well, at least I'm 0% Ashkenazi Jew.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
0% Asian, 0% African, just white, just general white guys all the way down.
Any surprises?
No,
Okay.
I don't recommend it if you are a person like me. It was just a cheap price, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I think
I'd like to do it.
interesting.
I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
Some of my family's done similar stuff, and it's usually like British, and then also there is some Spanish, Northern French, Frank, and some Scandinavian. And what that means is there's like probably like Viking ancestry in there, Danish ancestry, because they invaded and took over a lot of those places and spread their seed.
Oh, that was another thing. I'm 0% Native American, which means my maternal grandmother was just a fucking liar.
They're all fucking liars.
It's
Why do
true.
all grandmas insist there's Native American First Nation blood in our veins?
Because we can't let anybody have anything of their own. Yeah, but I mean, she was a chronic liar about a lot of things. She was not. A good
But there's
person.
the same thing in my family. My family always spread this myth that my mom is like a 32nd, but we just can't prove it because we don't have the paperwork. You can't prove it because you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, this did not happen.
My cousin Belinda did who would theoretically be the exact same genetic amount of First Nation blood as me, and there's Zippo
Yep.
from her. So, yeah.
On the bonus, now I can make Polish jokes.
Yeah, was Ashkenazi, was that the prevalent?
Ashkenazi, that's a chocolate that's made here. Ashkenazi, not Ashkenazi.
No, I'm going with the chocolate.
Go for it.
I was a chocolate-related question.
I was always going to ask what your favorite dark blend was of cacao beans. No, how do you say
Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazi? Was that a prevalent ethnicity in Polish, or were those
Yes.
Jews non-ethnic
Yes,
Jews?
yes.
Your Eastern European Jews are generally Ashkenazi.
Gotcha. Okay, good to know. All right.
Should we do
Let's-
some presents?
Well, I didn't bring them.
Well,
I
can
thought
give-
we were all getting together
I will-
as like a thing.
I will gladly take your gifts.
All right.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I already gave my gifts to you
It's
guys.
true. We on the next episode,
I haven't opened your gift yet because I was saving it.
I'll be
thought we-
using.
Open it up, dude. Open it up today when you
I'll
get
be
home.
using the glasses that Caleb got me on the next
Yeah.
episode. So this drone I got. Who wants it? Because I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, I'll
that little ass drone.
Yeah.
I guess give me it.
give it to Aaron. Yeah, well.
It's again a 3D printer situation where I'm like, this takes me too long to learn.
It's just hand-eye coordination, right?
So there's one
Okay,
gift.
now I have a drone.
Yep.
Thank you, Ryan. Ooh, this one's wrapped.
Wrapped
though.
it.
Caleb's is in a bag. Oh wait, no,
That's
my wife's.
Melody's.
Never
Mine's in
mind.
a box too, asshole.
Okay, my bad.
Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, this is going to be a bunch of jars. I know it is.
Should we unwrap this while you space bridge us a cocktail?
Sure, I'll make a cocktail.
Well, now I'm mad I didn't bring my gifts. I intentionally didn't bring them.
So we got some pickles. And the pickles! Are these dill pickles or bread and butter?
They're dill.
And we got some dill tomatoes Interesting. Like that. Oh,
I love Jet's pickles.
oh, Ryan. You just got. Oh, Ryan. Ryan got me a bottle of Lafroig Islay single malt Scotch whiskey. Oh, Ryan. This is awesome.
I'm glad you like it.
I love Scotch.
Scotch.
And
Ryan
beets.
apparently didn't hear me talk about my inflammation issues, but I have a bottle of small batch 92 proof weeded bourbon mash bill larceny brand John E. Fitzgerald. I don't know why they are using the famous author.
Read the back of it. I love the story.
Ryan, thank you for the. Oh yeah, read this. Sorry, Ryan, read the story. Aaron, read the story. I'm all distracted by my Scotch.
Larceny small batch weeded bourbon mash bill. John E. Fitzgerald's weakness was fine bourbon. As a treasury agent who was at the time the only person legally allowed to carry keys to the rickhouses, he gave in to temptation, freely taking from the best barrels in each rickhouse. Those that contained weeded bourbon, which is bourbon made with wheat instead of the traditional rye, these eventually became known as around the distillery as the Fitzgerald barrels. Now, larceny bourbon honors both the superb taste of this lawless treasury agent and the legacy of the old Fitzgerald brand. I must be confusing John E. Fitzgerald with
Scott
F. Scott Fitzgerald. Who also, I don't remember if Zelda was a teenager.
Well,
I just made up that part of the story.
You know that F. Scott Fitzgerald was an Ashkenazi Jew?
He was a chocolate maker?
Yes, he was.
So this is everything in this box. Okay.
Thank you,
Then I've
Ryan.
also got
This
this.
is
Hang
the
on, I've got
best.
one more
Oh, yeah.
thing here.
This is a component of today's drink.
I know what I'm drinking tonight.
What?
Some Lafroig.
I know you love that. I've heard you bring that
It's very I like
Brand
really
up.
peaty scotches, and that's a good.
lighter fluid scotch.
Yeah, it's a popular peaty scotch.
Okay, so I went a little wild here. I know I've been talking a lot about the YouTube channel How to Drink, and this is, at least this first component of this cocktail is from that. I call this the Bomb Blush Cocktail. So you guys know what bath bombs are.
Yes.
Obviously, they're, for anyone who doesn't live on this planet, I guess, they're those like spheres you put in a bath to make it fizz and smell good and be fun. This is that, but drinkable. Like, so these little things are cocktail bombs.
Okay.
To make a cocktail bomb, you take 7 ounces or 200 grams citric acid, 10.5 ounces or 300 grams of baking soda, 14 ounces, 400 grams of sugar, 1.5 ounces or 15 mils of bitters of your choice. I used Angostura. And it's not essential, but it's a good stabilizer. 0.2 ounces or 5 grams of gum acacia. And then you form them into 35-gram or 1-ounce balls and wrap them in wax paper. This makes about 25 of these. They're a little smaller than ping pong balls. And so what we have here is the cocktail is 2 ounces or 60 mils of gin, 1 ounce or 30 mils of unsweetened cranberry juice, and then unwrap that bath bomb, the drink bomb, and drop it into your glass.
All right, I'm going to do that right now.
I added a little absinthe to them, too, a couple dashes.
All right, so now they're...
It takes a minute for the reaction to start, especially since they're cold, but...
Oh, it's happening. It's happening. This'll. You almost want an animated little thing of this. When you show this off.
The interesting thing about this is that I like is like also the drink will change as this dissolves. Like it'll start out almost bitter, and then at the end as the sugar keeps dissolving, it gets sweeter.
How long should we expect the process to take?
I mean, you can taste it now. Like for it to get about half dissolved.
Was it a gin cocktail before we even? It was gin in the glass, right?
Yeah, 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of cranberry juice. And then, like about halfway through, I also like to usually add a couple pieces of ice. I garnished it with a rosemary sprig and a cherry, which is festive and
The
fun.
rosemary sprig smells great. I noticed you've got a giant rosemary shrub in your house.
Yeah, that rosemary bush is about 15 years old. I bought it as a tiny little like Christmas tree style thing from Lowe's.
Wow. I assume, is rosemary one of those things you can clip anytime and use? It's not like a thing where it blooms and
No,
becomes...
it doesn't. It doesn't flower. At least the kind I have doesn't.
Yeah, it's big. I've never even seen a rosemary bush like that.
When should we start? When should we drink?
You can try it now. Like again, I like the effervescence of it because the baking soda and citric acid reacts and just slowly makes it carbonated.
It's good. I've never had anything like this.
Cocktail bomb.
So the cocktail bomb was a recipe from How to Drink, and then I just made up what to put it in, which is 2 parts gin, 1 part cranberry juice.
You never cease to amaze me with your skills.
This is a great cocktail.
Thanks. I thought it was fun.
And I guess it could last all episodes.
Oh, so yeah, those you guys, part of your presents is I wrapped like 6 of these, and you can either use them or throw them away. I don't care.
I'm glad you told me what they were because I thought they were like I was going to try to eat one. Like,
Yeah, don't. They also work like non-alcoholically. You can just put them in water, and they'll flavor the water.
Can I put them in my bath this evening?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's probably going to be sticky because there's sugar in it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby.
Ay, papi.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, moving on. Shout out to our newest patron, Brian M., who comes to us from the southeast corner of Pennsylvania. This dedicated listener has listened to 110 episodes from April to today-ish, and that's a lot of concentrated APDC action.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as concentrated as the flavors of this cocktail bomb.
Yes.
And
But not.
It's like looking in a mirror, only not.
Perhaps a funhouse mirror.
He's been pretty active on
that's
Patreon.
cool.
I like his. He's been very, very into it.
Awesome.
I love it actually when people are into the Patreon. Michael has been kind of the king of that, and Robin has kind of get into it a little bit. I'm glad it's like come a little community.
Yeah.
With the emphasis on come. Who am I, Ryan? What the fuck is happening?
You have a problem this morning.
I don't think that Brian will mind us sharing some facts. He lives in Avondale.
Give his address.
Let's dox him. Welcome to the family. We're protesting outside your house. We're canceled. He lives close to Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, which is the mushroom capital of the world. It has a mushroom festival that brings 100,000 human germs to this town of 6,000. In addition to having the freshest cream of soup in the game, they also have great Mexican food because of the exploited Mexican immigrants the mushroom industry uses as its workforce.
Excellent. Just like the chicken industry around here.
No comment, but very charming. More charming than immigrant exploitation is the fact that Brian is a lifelong fan of Transformers G1 all the way, he said.
Nice.
And his favorite character is Shitpiece. As much as he loves Transformers, though, he has a greater love. Godzilla and Japanese sci-fi. In fact, he has a collection that is so huge related to these genres that he's often a featured guest on Godzilla dedicated YouTube shows and channels and panelist at G-Fest, which is the annual Godzilla Con in Chicago. He's just recently gotten back into Transformers after selling off his whole collection. He's gotten back into it, and he's been hitting it hard because his Instagram is actually full of like all the latest top masterpiece and third-party figures, so he's dove into it as far as I can tell. You can see his awesome toy photography at Sofubi Samurai. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and those aforementioned collections will be
Can you spell that?
Is it
beautifully rendered in full color at SOFUBI Samurai, which is a complicated word unto itself. SAMURAI.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Thank you for being a patron, and we were always really happy to have someone find us and validate what we're doing.
He has been talking about like how he is, especially on our tangents and just 80s related stuff in general. He feels very connected to like this kind of stuff he talks about with his friends, or like can relate to that very well. Yeah, we're all living in the past.
Caleb's living in a past he didn't live, though. He's living in our past.
It's our world. You're just pasting in it.
Yeah, definitely thank you for listening. Hope to see you in Baltimore. I assume we're all going to go to Baltimore.
Hopefully.
I'm it's overdue. It's going to be well overdue.
Should we do a thing for it or just chill?
I don't know.
We'll just cross that bridge when we come to it.
I'd rather cross it sooner than later so we can get the work done.
Well, let's talk about it right now.
Cross
then.
that bridge and dot that I.
I think we should, and we probably will, and it'll be interesting to see what we come up with.
Great preview for the future. Another shout out to our friend, serial Apple podcast reviewer Combatimus217.
Oh, boy.
Whose latest review stated, "You guys got my most listened to podcast of the year on Spotify." He's
out.
leaving this on Apple. Apple Podcasts. Thank you for that. That's awesome. That's actually dedication. Thanks for all you do. Also, Ryan, I'm going to eat your fucking spleen. He didn't say it. I added
Come and
that.
get me, y'all.
It's too bad. I
added
always
that
love it
last
when we have a
part.
follower that has a strange like
Aggression?
aggression towards Ryan.
Well, that's this. Yeah, that's Combatimus all the way. He's typically has a
I will.
has a fun thing for Ryan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made that up. So, but thank you, Combatimus. It is an honor to have bored so deeply into your ear holes and your heart holes.
Just as a side note, I don't know. I don't think I ever even told you guys about this, but I so long ago signed our podcast up with a pod tracker to like get some demographics, but then never followed up on it and haven't been adding it to our episodes. So I started adding it and going back retroactively and adding it to our past episodes. So
What does that mean? What
it
does
just
that do?
clocks when people download it and like that kind of thing. And I also they have a survey for demographics. If you guys care to, go to our website. On the homepage at the bottom, there's a listener survey if you want to fill that out. It doesn't take very long. If you don't.
Cool.
Please, if you like us, throw some bones our way. We give special things out on our Patreon page.
You can join Brian, even though we've moved on from Brian and to Combatimus, but to bring it back to Brian, who we thank. If you want to be like Brian, who is truly an outstanding individual, you can hook us up with some pocket change at patreon.com/APDC.
I like how well you're extemporaneous, just off the cuff plugging.
That's why I write my notes down.
I know. I'm the same.
Okay, last episode recap. The dinos are finally fed up living in a closet in Autobot headquarters, and they've hopped a train to Cybertron. So let's get to it. Desertion of the Dinobots, Part 2, written by Earl Kress, animated by Toei. Fucking intro. We're going straight into Cybertron.
I love it.
Baby.
I love this episode.
I love the Caroli intro.
So I don't have a Caroli intro,
Oh.
interestingly enough. And I'm assuming you did on the Tubi TV.
On Tubi.
Yes, it's there.
Yeah, check this out. There's not even on my version, which is just a burned version of a DVD set you got me. I can't remember which one it is, but it's the one that has it's the Matrix of Leadership, and inside is like 5 DVD cases of episodes. Yeah, this is it.
That's okay.
It just opens
just
up.
gets right to it.
Huh. Which is interesting because on the in the recap, it shows Shockwave exploding the elevator, and then we immediately open up to retconning that.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why they cut it. They're like, that's confusing.
I like this episode. I remember this episode as a child and finding it really fascinating.
I like this episode too. I will say, it's my notes for a little bit are not going to reflect that because this is one of the few episodes where I enjoy it more and more as it goes on.
Exactly.
I guess we are different because I thought this episode was fucking boring.
The first 5 minutes of this are super boring because it's just us with the humans. But
Yeah.
So you might recall from last episode, Spike, Carly, they have teleported via space bridge to Cybertron into Shockwave's lair. Inside, the space bridge opens, and despite what we saw at the end of last episode of Shockwave firing lasers and exploding whatever was on the other side, now the space bridge opens. Spike and Carly, they're in their smoking convertible. The door opens, and zap.
They take the one thing away from Carly that she loves the most.
she is hot pissed.
I
about
would
it
be
too, and then
They
I
take her
understand it's a
fucking
sweet car.
convertible. Yeah.
I do like that shot where they show from behind Spike and Carly with her eyes blinking in the rearview mirror. It's a cool shot of Shockwave as well. And yeah, he straight up has a ray that dissolves her car.
I wish that they would be sitting there with I wish they should have folded in an effect of her revving her engine like. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Spike is a little bit his eyes open, like an alarm expression. But when you look at Carly in the rearview mirror, it's not like she's just cool as a cucumber.
Well, this is what I love about Carly is she's completely unflappable.
Yeah, she's great. Suddenly we see that Shockwave has a gun that just makes things disappear.
Yeah, it vaporizes things, which I guess maybe it's like an anti-neutron bomb where it only destroys mechanical things instead of organic matter. I'm not sure.
But yeah, I don't blame her. She's super pissed. He takes her car away, and I can only imagine how pissed Ryan would be if Shockwave like zapped Ryan's minivan and it disappeared.
I never actually use it anymore. I just drive West's car because we don't ever go anywhere.
The van. What's the last time you actually had the van? What was the last time that van was in motion?
It's probably been a month.
Wow. Do you think it still actually can start?
No, it can't.
So now it's just sitting there.
Like last time we tried to Aaron came over and because both my car and West's car had died because we hadn't driven them in so long. And Aaron came over and jumped the Jeep, West's car. Yeah. And then we tried to jump my car and it did not work.
It just wouldn't start?
No.
Did it turn over?
Not really.
Didn't even turn over.
And so I bought one of those like remote jump devices.
Yeah.
And it started up right away with that. But then I'm like, I drove it, I think, then to do that, to charge it up. But, like, it's just going to die again anyways. Like, there's no point in charging it up unless I need to go somewhere.
I love it. I love it. That van matches your outlook on life.
Yeah, why bother?
Exactly. But that van's part of the podcast. We have to keep it.
It's true. Maybe look for something about the van in the next Patreon.
Yes. You could win Ryan's van.
Oh, you could win something that's worth more than Ryan's van.
Anything in the world.
But Patreons, if you give, what would be, like, let's say a patron like gives X amount of dollars for the van. What would be the starting? Like, what would you do?
$200.
$200. Patrons, or non-patrons, if you join Patreon and give $200,
there are some patrons that are giving
more than that per year. Yeah.
The van is yours. You just have to come and
get it.
Come and get it. Good luck with that.
We're gonna say an additional $200 over
$400.
No, what I'm saying is if they're already. Listen, it wasn't included as part of the tiering.
Right. Is the mattress? You want to throw the mattress in for free?
Oh yeah, baby.
That mattress is in there, right?
It's in the garage at the moment.
Well, yeah, it's been
because the van is full of things to donate that I just have never taken to donate.
Like what? What's in there?
I like the idea of you driving your van to whatever this donation pickup spot is and then just getting out and walking.
The van.
I throw the keys into the seat and just go away.
Goodwill can deal with this.
Yeah. You've done them a great
service. It's like books and clothes and like there's some pieces and stuff that.
Well, I hope that we can get that van go. Actually, I guess you could start a fix Ryan's van kind of deal. Oh, don't do that. That's sad.
No, that's sad.
That's a whole new Patreon that we need to start up.
Yeah. I think we should have an auction. We should auction off Ryan's van at Baltimore. When we go to Baltimore, we'll have pictures of it. We'll have an auction because I know.
Do you want thing that doesn't start and leaks coolant like a sieve?
Yes,
this is for you.
It might be an adventure to drive that thing to Baltimore to ride along.
Oh my god!
Adventure in so much as it wouldn't get there.
We could get it there.
I wonder if we would even get to Missouri.
We will buy one-way plane tickets to come back from Baltimore with the premise that we will drive the van there and it will just stay.
But we need to leave a week early and bring a mechanic handbook type thing. Or maybe we just get into all kinds of small-town Doc Hollywood adventures on the way.
I think it'd be fun. I'm up for
that. You're in a Doc Hollywood movie, but in my mind, we're in a horror movie.
I'd be a little worried about the Appalachians. I think we'd have some problems there, but I'm down for this.
I'm pretty sure I'm Scotch-Irish. I can
Three.
I can get us through the Appalachians.
3 D-list podcasters raped and killed in Appalachia.
Another reason to take the 23andMe, Aaron, to make sure that you
Yeah.
you can produce that paperwork.
I'll be like,
23andMe, I can't even count that high.
pull down your pants, pig.
Yeah.
God. Oh no.
I've actually never seen Deliverance, but I
I've never
understand.
seen it.
I
I have.
understand the reference.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Warren Beatty,
Yep.
Burt Reynolds.
Yep.
Those are names of people.
It's a weird comedy.
It's a troubling movie. It's a good movie.
Filmed in Atlanta,
And really,
or is it set in Atlanta or filmed in Atlanta?
I thought it was filmed in Manhattan.
like
No,
No, wait, that's Escape from New York. Wait, that was filmed in St. Louis. Fuck. All right.
we
Go ahead.
Carly is angry, as Ryan said, but they got to get the fuck out of here. They run out of the space bridge shaft and hide behind different mechanical instruments, each one blasted by Shockwave's disappearing ray.
Yeah, when they hide behind one of them, Spike says he won't blast one of his own robots, but it appears to just be a big cylinder. It's not that one. It appears to just be a column of computers.
And I would think that would be of use to him. He's like destroying his own equipment.
Yeah.
It's slightly better than the Autobots always destroying Teletran 1.
Maybe it isn't destroying the equipment. Maybe it's just teleporting it to his bedroom or something.
Yeah. I like the idea of Shockwave having a bedroom.
Well, we know he has his bathtub with
does.
his candles.
Yeah.
They're probably, what's it called?
God.
That hippie shit.
Patchouli?
Essential oils
Essential oils.
and what
Yeah,
have you.
I feel for him. He needs to have that kind of stuff.
This I hadn't read the script at this point, the original script, which I couldn't find it online, by the way. But like I think that him saying he wouldn't destroy one of his own robots, it's supposed to be one of those Sentinel robots we see later. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
And it just got animated weird. I do love the sound that Shockwave's dissolve ray makes, if we can capture that.
I don't think he cares, Carly.
He's so slow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. Shockwave's the best.
Yeah, that's it. I just thought it was a cool sound.
It is.
They could just have a whole episode. I could watch a whole episode of them running around while he just shoots and makes things disappear until finally just all of Cybertron just disappears and him and them are just floating out in space.
He always likes to be the seeker in hide and seek.
Yes.
He's
He would, yeah, he's not interested in hiding.
The miserable human glitches snuck down a small port into a room encasing a master computer. They're hidden from Shockwave. I don't know why they didn't just fire at the wall that they
said
crawled
disappear.
under.
Some things he can't make
Well,
disappear.
because
Because it's the master computer. That's why
Yeah.
he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He decided to exercise caution this time. Hidden from Shockwave, it's time to break out the old thumb phone.
I love it.
Holler back at Pops on Earth.
We asked last time if the thumb radio comes back, and it does. Also, this main computer room seems to be powered by the mind gem from the infinity gems at the bottom.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like some pool of energy.
Yeah.
We do not reference Marvel Cinematic Universe in this podcast, Ryan. This is not that kind of
I do
show.
what I want. It's a free podcast. I'm a third of it. I do. I mean, it's not. I don't really care, but I just wonder how the radio wave situation works since there's a
Yeah.
delay.
True.
Yeah.
But like,
We don't know how far away Cybertron is from Earth.
No, that's
it's
fine.
true. It must be. If they're getting instantaneous reactions like this, it's got to be within the orbit of the moon.
And Teletran Run is really good at recreating like their surroundings.
I liked that.
It's a cool
Also,
effect.
yeah, Teletran 1, Sparkplug, first of all, is super, like, competent in this episode. Also, he says, I can see you now when Spike radios him, and Spike asking the real questions, says, how? To which Sparkplug says, Teletran is making a simulated picture. I love it.
Yeah.
A one-word throwaway answer that makes me be like, cool.
Yeah.
It also makes me wonder, though, is he maybe he's simulating all those camera angles that are impossible on Earth. Like,
Yeah. Maybe I was always thinking like somehow that thumb phone is like projecting like sonar or something like that, or putting a signal out so they can like
Oh,
map what's around them.
Maybe.
Teletran's getting the data. Didn't Sparkplug engineer the thumb phone as well?
Sparkplug is in this episode is a technological genius.
Yeah, he's great.
I want to think that he's got a magical wrench that just can make things happen. Pew. Yep.
We're just about to get there, but the image of Teletran, whenever he creates the image of Spike and Carly, it has a label that says Decepticon Computer with a K.
Yes, love it.
We sneak over to Autobot headquarters, and amidst a sea of smashed up chassis is Sparkplug and Teletran 1, and as everybody mentioned, a digital model of the room that Spike and Carly are in is created, and Carly breaks into a panel at this point and attempts to gain control of the space bridge that they arrived on, but an errant spark shocks her and knocks her into the sinkhole toward the computer power source.
There it is, Decepticon computer brain.
Nice.
She doesn't fall all the way into it, into where the, I guess the power, goo is. However, when she does fall into it, the whole room shorts out, and it, and that power source kind of disappears, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it just like trips a breaker.
Yeah.
I will say I like the animation because it's Toei, but on the humans, it's real weird. They're very exaggerated features.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just...
Yeah, nope, shorted out, powers down. He has some kind of crotch flashlight.
Oh, the flashlight. Let's talk about the flashlight.
Let's do.
So we get back from commercial, and it's pitch black. Or we didn't even go commercial. No, it just goes black.
That's
and
right.
Flash. And Spike has this flashlight, which he calls a photon flashlight, because Wheeljack gave it to him, which is like, I like to imagine that Wheeljack, when he gave it to him, called it a photon flashlight, because... that's what all flashlights are. Anything that gives out light is giving out photons.
Yeah. Right. Well, the second that he says that Wheeljack gave him the flashlight, I was like, oh no,
I
think he's gonna blow up in his goddamn face.
Yeah, this is problematic. And
Solves his arm.
throw the flashlight away. Get rid of the flashlight. Step away from the flashlight quickly. But no, it works all right.
And I also like...
It's probably Wheeljack probably bought the fucking flashlight online.
At a swap meet.
Yeah.
At a certain point, they just fucking decide to stop animating the flashlight and just have a ray of light surrounding Spike.
Well, he clips it onto his belt.
Yeah,
I think
they go.
Did he?
Yeah, they go somewhere where there's light. Eventually, they get out of this hole, this energy hole.
Yeah, see, he's got it theoretically clipped to his belt. Here's the thing, like, we're almost 20% into this episode that has Dinobots in the title, and we have yet to see a fucking Dinobot. I hate how all the episodes of the Dinobots have, like, no Dinobots in them.
Oh, Ryan's getting mad again.
I wonder if they were just hard to animate, and so they just really
I just think nobody knows how to write the Dinobots good. Good.
Me no right Dinobot.
Yes, yeah.
Carly, by the way, twisted her ankle.
Oh, my God.
And so Spike jumps down to save her. Remember, there's kind of a sinkhole in this room. And because the power blob is gone, that it now reveals an exit for them to escape from. And they travel through the hallways, and they remind us, which, again, 5 minutes almost into this episode, we forget why they're here. They're here for Cybertonium, people. At this point, Megatron contacts Shockwave.
Megatron is, like, on the floor.
He's not doing good. I think there was some speculation as to where is this camera located. That is it an iPhone that he's calling it? Is he FaceTiming?
Yeah, I think so.
Shockwave. Oh, it's always fun to juxtapose current technology with this old show, right, guys?
I think so.
We have fun here.
We do.
We're so witty.
This is the fun zone.
Megatron is particularly pissed that the humans have gotten away, but unfortunately for the humans, Shockwave has sent the Sentinels after them, and these things look idiotic.
Yeah, they're pretty goofy.
What was that Nintendo robot?
Oh, I was going to say Wall-E.
But
Rob.
Actually,
Robotic operating buddy. I
Rob
think is
and
what it
Wally
is.
do have some similarities. So, but I was going to say Rob and the Sentinels have some similarities in their appeal.
I'm just, at this point, like, really so tired of I'm so bored of watching humans do things.
In general?
Just this, like,
Oh, this.
I'm just so, again, I guess you have to have somebody do something, but like none of this matters.
When I was a kid, really enjoyed this because I just wanted to see. I wanted to see Cybertron, and I'm seeing Cybertron like
true.
I've never seen it before. So I'm willing to let that.
This is
slide.
cool in that way.
It's true. It does do a great thing if we get to explore
little
Cybertron in a
backstory.
fun way. And that's why I enjoyed it more as it goes on, is we get an awesome backstory
Yes.
on Cybertron.
Yes.
Now, we have paused it here where Carly opens this huge door
Yeah.
and says, "Hold the door, Spike."
Yeah.
And we definitely need to make a gif of like him being slammed into
smashed.
paste as the door closes on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he's got the strength to hold this
He's strong.
uncountable ton door open for Carly to slide through, and then he slides through. But then this door
Crushes
smashes
the-
the robot's head, the
Yes.
Sentinel's head.
Yes.
Well, he shows superhuman strength later on too.
The Witwickies, as we've established, are invulnerable and seem to be super strong.
Yep, I think that's their appeal.
What are they doing? They're off to find Wheeljack's old lab. Recall that Carly has twisted an ankle, so Spike picks her up as if under the threshold to carry Carly to Wheeljack's lab of
Again,
love.
to his super strength. She's about the same size as him. I can't carry someone my size around like that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you carry somebody under a threshold for like 10 seconds. He's doing it for like 10 miles.
I would try. I would carry Carly to the end. of the
Also, that's faster than her leaning on you. Why?
Yeah.
And also,
That's true.
her ankle in about a minute is going to be totally fine.
That is
Well,
the other thing. Why did they?
She
In about 2 minutes, they're gonna be like, Carly, your ankle, and
my
she's like,
ankle's
huh,
better.
I guess
She
it's
go-
okay
she
now.
literally goes, "I think it got better."
she just wanted to get carried around. My
She just wanted to get carried.
my 5-year-old does the
It's
same
a-
thing. My 5-year-old does the same thing. Now he should have just given her a piggyback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's way easier to carry someone that way.
So, did any of you guys notice that Wheeljack's lab has a Decepticon symbol?
I
Up on the
did
door?
notice that. I mean, it is also
And-
completely different.
What's happening here?
Well-
Does Wheeljack? Is he really a Decepticon?
That's why he's subtly sabotaging
So
all
he
his
doesn't
inventions.
suck.
He's
He's just a
actually-
saboteur.
He's actually a more of an intelligent person than we thought, and he's
Yeah.
just playing a dumb Autobot, which is not hard to do. I guess.
just Autobot then.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
the implication is just to show that the Decepticons own everything, but also we have that's not the lab we saw the last time we saw Wheeljack's lab, but
It's
it
a-
doesn't matter.
It's a different entrance.
It's not that far off, though, is it?
It
I'll have
was
to
just a little
see a
door.
comparison. Okay.
Anyway,
Oh,
it
I
does,
see.
but yeah, maybe it was a side entrance.
It's not this grand, tall, vaulted ceiling.
This is more like
It's
what
more
the
like a
Seekers come out of in the first
garage.
episode, actually.
Okay.
But anyway, it didn't really bug me that much.
Regardless, I'm loving it. I'm seeing Cybertron.
Carly, during this, she sees a spooky shadow, but no
Yes.
matter. They're at the lab. There's an ominous knock on the ceiling of the lab, and then another one. Spike finds a weapon, aims,
A big fucking weapon.
and fires.
Oh
boom,
man,
boom.
And we go to commercial.
Oh fuck! What happens?
the Spike going into this closet to maybe find a weapon. Sparkplug goes, "Please let there be something in there," and I would have just. It's just Wheeljack's dildo collection.
Yeah, it's just porn. It's just lots of porn.
What kind of porn is Wheeljack into?
Edging. I don't know why.
I just like to hold it in as long as possible. That's my Wheeljack everybody.
Good night.
But they find nothing in here other than
No,
this
he
gun.
finds a gun.
Right, but they went in to find Cybertonium.
Well,
no,
right.
he went. They went into the lab to find Cybertonium, but
But they
with
started
the
hearing knocking,
so
so
he goes
yeah.
to find a weapon. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, we're back from
exactly.
commercial.
But there's no Cybertonium in the lab. It's a waste of time.
Theoretically, there is, but Wheeljack, as Sparkplug will say in a moment, is too weak to tell him where it is.
Oh, okay.
Spike does get a gun, a giant gun that he is, to your point earlier, Caleb, superhuman,
Yeah.
strengthing, aiming it at the ceiling where
Yeah.
the knocking noise is coming from, and the roof is starting to disintegrate. No doubt a Decepticon foe is getting ready to pop through here. He takes shots. Oh, now we're going to commercial. Maybe I went to commercial a little too soon.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Wheeljack would be less into edging and more into ruining.
Ruined
Ruining.
orgasm.
That's awful. I've never heard of that before.
That's awful.
You never heard of a ruined orgy?
I have now.
Nobody calls it that.
No, just keep moving.
They do now.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do now.
We are third of the way into this episode. Nary a Dinobot in sight yet.
Ryan, hold your horses because
What?
we're going to come back from the commercial, and it turns out that Decepticon that Spike was firing at in the ceiling is none other than Swoop, the Dinobot.
Yay, Ryan finally gets to see a Dinobot. Yay.
This is where I start liking the episode.
Of course.
And I like that we basically get a Swoop highlight episode. Like he gets this is Swoop's episode, which I feel like he gets short shrift a lot of the time. Even amongst the Dinobots, who notoriously get short shrift.
And I don't know that they get a short shrift. I think that's just your Dinobot bias. They get more screen time than many other Autobots.
This is the last episode we see them until the movie.
Trax gets an episode, probably.
But Trax is boring as shit.
No,
the
he's not.
Dinobots
He's
are
cool.
Dinobots.
He's cool and waspy. Listen, it's a bias, and I don't blame you. I mean, they should have done more.
This is all I want to see is just Dinobots wrecking shit.
Just from a marketing perspective.
In this weird flashback.
They should have just had a spin-off called the Dinobots.
Yeah.
And it's just
No.
the Dinobots fucking shit up.
Well, that's crazy. No, I don't want it all. I don't want everything to be about the Dinobots. That would be like having a series about Steve Urkel.
right. And then Ryan has nothing to complain about.
No, they're like.
I mean, they made a show about my favorite Cheers character, Fravor Frayne.
Fravor Frave. Fraser Frage.
Where's Bridget Nielsen? I'm gonna fuck her.
Ugh. Is that a quote?
They famously dated.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It was a classic
I'm gonna
odd
fuck
couple,
her.
Ryan.
It was like, what?
I understand. It's just that I'm gonna fuck her was weird.
All right.
I also have a hard time believing, even if you have 100 of these Sentinel robots, they could take the Dinobots captive.
Ryan's feeling, he's like, they could have won this.
I agree with his statement.
I've just realized that in watching all these episodes with the Dinobots and how much I loved them as a kid and still do, it's really just like how much I like them as opposed to they're just written like garbage. Like they don't. I think it's more of like what I imagined them to be as opposed to what they were portrayed as on screen.
That's really this whole show, because when we were kids, we didn't believe the Autobots were buffoons. And now we realize it.
Yeah.
Well, Swoop is telling the story of the Dinobots' time on Cybertron. They arrive, they busted up the Decepticon guard pretty good until eventually they were outnumbered, and Swoop got away, but the rest of the boys were captured and taken to the Cybertronium pits.
Damn.
Cybertronium.
Where are
Remember,
those?
that's the thing we're looking for here.
Oh, yeah.
Cybertonium.
God damn it. And I even spelled it that way.
I don't know why they made it that.
Carly's
It's so hard to remember.
Yeah. Carly's ankle is better. This is the point where we realize she's cool.
What was the reason to be Cardi B about it?
Cardi B about it.
Yeah, there's a famous clip where she's like, "What was the reason?"
What's she referring to?
She was on a show like it was a panel show. I can't remember. She was just she was asking somebody to explain why their buffoonery.
Yeah.
Okay.
She be about it.
All
I
right.
like Cardi B.
She got that wop, son.
That's right. Nope.
Carly's ankle is better. Hey, she's going to walk her ass to the pits. The team finds a should I call it a cybertonic mass transit system that coordinates in hand, courtesy of Sparkplug and Teletran. Where was I going with this? Coordinates in hand.
I
don't know.
Are you talking about the you think you're talking about the coordinates that Sparkplug tells them to put in? Yeah, they get into this Elon Musk Hyperloop thing.
I loved this as a kid, them flying around in this thing.
The coordinates are 354 Zeta Alpha Mark 7.
I like this.
Which I wrote down because I thought it would be a cool, super nerdy, personalized license plate. Sort of like how I want one that says 6EQUJ5, which is the WOW signal. But again,
future APDC guest Alpha Magnus has a license plate that says Alpha Magnus.
All right. Yep.
That's relevant.
But I don't drive I don't drive my car anymore, so what's the point? Again, that
Right.
should just be on my grave. What's the point? Why bother?
I'll put that personalized license plate on your grave. If you
I love it.
You're assuming Ryan's going to have a gravestone.
Yeah, it's true. Just burn me. Also, this whole Hyperloop scene takes a full minute of screen time.
does.
I like it.
It's really long. Yeah, they take this cool maze of tubes and magnetized tracks until they come to a place where the tube is damaged. So now they've got to get out and walk. Unfortunately, the planet is full of Indiana Jones style booby traps.
I wrote that too.
Yes, it is.
A giant pendulum axe swings from the ceiling, slicing Swoop's wing. Further on, the walls close in on the team, but Swoop just busts them out.
These are ancient traps left behind from previous Autobot Decepticon wars.
It's true. And to your point, Caleb, I do like seeing them go deeper into Cybertron, where theoretically things get more primitive, which is why they have these whack-ass
Love it.
booby traps. But it's very cool.
and they show those whack ass robots too, and I was always like, ooh, these are like ancient Transformers. I want to know more about them. But
we get a little bit more.
yes, we do.
One of the traps is a small legion of heat-seeking missiles, which comes at them and dodge all they can. Those missiles are going to come back at you.
They do
That's right.
a lot.
And Swoop picks up the humans to fly away from the missiles, but his wing no work, so me can't fly. The team, he just drops Spike and Carly to the ground as the missiles circle back in for the kill, and that's where we go to commercial.
So, okay. I know he says me can it kind of comes up when he's like me can transform, which is used to fire shoulder missiles he never had.
Yeah.
Why not use the missiles on your wings? Also, you're a Dinobot. You can fly in robot mode.
Yeah.
True. Here comes the missiles.
It doesn't make me annoyed, but it's like Carly's ankle. It's ridiculous in that it doesn't necessarily mean anything, his injury.
We got to fill this 30 minutes up somehow.
That's why I fully believe, I can't remember who it was, the cynical ass weirdo who wrote the first two-parter was like, yeah, you get paid twice, so I wrote a two-parter.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. This is I'm gonna have them fly around for a while, dodge the missiles. Then
It's
beat the
they fly
missiles.
for so long, and it's almost
crazy.
Like,
It's a
it's like
long
the
time.
story of the bumblebee or something. He realizes he should never be able to fly, and then he doesn't fly anymore.
The story of the bumblebee, I love it. It was pointed out on the TF Wiki that these should probably just be like missiles that once they're next to something explode because
Yeah.
they're in a tiny hallway.
Are most of those actual style of missiles more proximity than direct
That's
hit?
the word I was trying to look for. Yeah, but in cartoons, if a missile doesn't hit you dead on, it doesn't do anything.
So he drops them, then transforms into a robot and fires the missiles from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
When clearly he could have fired
has
it
missiles.
from midair.
It's so weird. It's a weird choice.
God damn it!
What was the reason?
Almost forgot. Me, Swoop, can transform.
Transform. I got ahead of myself.
No, you're fine. The team steps out from the catacombs into a desolate area. What did this used to be?
This is my favorite part.
Yes, I agree with you.
Perhaps the viewing room that Carly found with the giant laser discs
The laser
will help
discs, yeah.
out.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is where they just walked into? Is it like an underground cave of ancient Autobot Decepticon civilization that's been built on top of, or are they on the surface?
It's
I think they're still
hard.
underground.
I've always imagined it as being like this world that was built there. It's ancient, and since then they have like
built on top of
built on top of it. And Cybertron actually has a rock core that they've just slowly been building technology and architecture on top of.
I think that's the implication. It's sort of like, what is it, Return to the Planet of the Apes or whatever, where like New York is now a subterranean city.
That's the way I see this, which I love.
Yeah, I like it too, because this documentary we're about to watch on this Laserdisc I love it. And I can only assume, because it definitely is shot from the stance of the Autobots because it calls the Decepticons evil and how they're bad.
It's like Autobot Fox News.
Well, or it's just real.
Yeah, more like,
As opposed to
I would
Fox
say more like
News.
Autobot NPR.
There we go. But yeah, I guess the Decepticons just didn't find this, or it's really cool. Well, we'll just. I mean, we could just play the whole documentary. I love the whole thing.
I think they should have got Herner Werzog to narrate it.
Herner, you just said Herner Werzog.
Yeah.
Isn't it Werner Herzog?
I hope so.
I also think it's Werner.
But you just said
you're right. It would be
Herner
Werner
Werzog, and then you were like,
it would be Werner Herzog because it's a W. Oh, that was fun.
I like this.
I think we saw this in Hounded to Oblivion. This recording device.
Showtime!
Millions of years ago, Cybertron was a planet of peace until the Decepticons, lusting for power, began a terrible war not designed for combat. The Autobots were overwhelmed and subjugated by their evil opponents. While many Autobots fled Cybertron, a few valiant survivors devised new tactics and launched a counteroffensive on their arch foes. And thus began a terrible series of wars. Many times, both sides have claimed victory. But this has been short-lived, for the Autobots have overthrown Decepticon tyrants. And likewise, Decepticon treachery has toppled many a peaceful Autobot ruler. And to this day, the war rages on.
Me not know that before.
Yeah, I love that. There's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much information we're given that we never had before. Like the Civil War has been going off and on forever, and also it implies that transformation was the thing the Autobots came up with to battle the Decepticons who were stronger and battle ready.
It just made the universe that much bigger.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I guess I agree and disagree.
All right.
Perhaps I'll agree to disagree.
Hey, straddle that fence.
I don't think you get that much more information. The whole Autobot innovation of transformation thing is an interesting tidbit, but still don't know why they're fighting. It's just like there always has to be a reason why, and they just showed up and
because the Decepticons are bad guys.
I kind of equate it.
They're the bad guys.
It's true. We're simplifying it, but I kind of equate it to Nazi Germany. Like, why did they fight? They just wanted shit. Hitler was insane. Just wanted shit.
Power, man. Power.
Which is why, like, again, I was, to bring it back to Nazi Germany, I was like, why didn't the Decepticons destroy this information? And maybe this is just a city that got forgotten.
I think it was forgotten. I think it's all been overlooked. It's been buried by time.
Yeah. And other buildings.
Yes, literally.
And they get dropped in on.
They watched that cool video.
Thank you. Yes. Cool video. And Cybertron used to be peaceful. Decepticons came and fucked it up. Autobots weren't designed for fighting. They were conquered by their evil opponents. Autobots fled Cybertron. Some figured out how to fight. There's been a veritable hot potato of control over power. Except in this version of hot potato, I take the potato from you.
That's my potato.
The story educates Swoop just as the team is discovered and captured by a sentient sentinel, and take him to the Cybertonium pits.
This part is so like Shockwave says, take them, the humans, to the Cybertonium pits along with the foreign robot, which I just thought was a fascinating turn of phrase.
Yeah,
but the foreign robot is Swoop.
Yeah,
right.
So okay. Shockwave's a racist.
Close the borders.
Exactly.
Build the wall. The prisoners are enslaved.
Slaves.
And chucked into the pit with the other Dinobots, who are harvesting this crystalline power source. They've been brainwashed into believing that they work for the Decepticons, but Carly as we know, is no stranger to cracking open Autobot chests. The memory circuits have been disconnected, which, of course, she knows how to reconnect. I mean, she goes to Harvard or some shit.
Well, she also checked Swoop circuits to compare them. But I guess this is kind of the payoff we saw way back in the first 4 minutes of part 1, where she opens up Bumblebee and turns off his inertial inhibitors.
I forgot that was in this connected series that happened. Yeah. Okay, all right.
It doesn't work at all because what kid would remember that?
Yeah.
Carly's I love Carly. Carly is capable as hell and completely fearless. She's great.
When you don't have Chip Chase, you've got Carly.
Yeah.
So Spike...
I do. Oh, I love this part where she just did it. There was Spike says, "Can you fix them?" And Carly literally pats him on the face "Oh, you sweet little boy." Yeah. It says, "Can an Autobot roll?"
She patronizes
I love
him.
it.
Yeah.
I love it so much because why are you dating this piece of shit?
Yeah.
I think, as we've learned, I guess in the previous episode, is that Spike's not a roughneck. His dad is management. His dad is an oil executive.
Oh, whenever he went to WrenchCon.
I mean, they were probably just on at the first few episodes. They were probably checking in on things from corporate.
So they're
as opposed to working the rig.
They're like internal affairs,
like undercover boss.
He could be the CEO.
For all we know, yeah.
ExxonMobil,
which is why they don't have to work.
British Petroleum. Yeah, they just fuck around with the Autobots all day.
Yeah,
he's got stock options, baby.
Yeah, he's taken care of.
Okay. Well, Spark, Carly, and the Dinobots stage a dispute and demand to be segregated. The Sentinels comply, opening the fence and a path to escape. The Dinobots make short work of the guards, and the whole team escapes up the Cybertronian highway tube system. They need no car.
Also, I guess, again... It just occurs to me, Spike and Grimlock do this, pageantry where they pretend to be mad at each other, and then Shockwave's get the humans out of there and let the Dinobots work, and then they open the fence, but also the Dinobots, again, can fucking fly.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's true. Also, why would Shockwave... why wouldn't he just shred the humans?
Exactly, just kill the humans.
There's no way, even in the best of circumstances, that they'll contribute a fraction of what the Dinobots can contribute in this situation.
But we do get another scene where it's just, again, all I want to see is Dinobots wrecking shit. It's sort of like, how you go to an action movie, you don't really go for nuance. You go to see Arnold Schwarzenegger do one-liners and kill people.
Yeah. There's a couple cool moments. Slag melting those robots is really neat. But honestly, one of the best action sequences in this whole series to date was in the episode previous to this, where the Dinobots attack the airport where the Decepticons
Yeah, that's true. That was
a really good action sequence.
Then they fly up the tubes.
Yeah. We're reminded that they need no car. The way it looks, they're just floating. They're being raptured.
In case of rapture, your Dinobot will be unpiloted.
Sparkplug gets a hold of Spike. Teletran 1 has reset the bridge to go to Autobot headquarters. Yeah. This is their only chance. Hurry. Again, Sparkplug is a genius.
Absolutely. And again, it's a one-line offhand explanation of ludicrous shit, but I'm like, cool. I get it. They've reprogrammed the space bridge. Done and done.
The Decepticons, we have to kind of give this to the Autobots, and I guess mostly Sparkplug, because the Decepticons' tech is mostly reverse engineered from Autobot tech. So I think we've established this. The Autobots are actually technical geniuses. They're just ineffective.
Just in most tacticians. They're terrible as tacticians. Yeah,
right. They did invent transforming, so I think that plays. The transport tubes take the team directly to Shockwave's lair. They catch him completely unawares. He knows he's
so
lost
bad
control
at his job.
Yeah, he is.
Intruders. A brief battle ensues. Shockwave shoots off Swoop's wing as he drunkenly flies into the space bridge elevator. The team and enough Cybertonium to repair all the Autobots are transported back to Earth.
I've always felt that whenever Swoop gets shot in the wing like that, kind of bummed me out. I've always felt very protective of Swoop for some reason. Like, I had the toy as a kid, but also he seems like the most fragile of the Dinobots because his wings are susceptible to that kind of thing. And I guess I always have a knee-jerk instinct to protect something fragile. And it just, I've always felt, especially in Transformers the movie, where he gets crushed under that the building wreckage, that I didn't like it.
Yeah, I think our audience knows you're a bitch.
Okay. All right. Sure. What is empathy? Why would anybody have that?
Don't need that. Throw it in the garbage. We're back to Earth. The humans all have, human boys have wrestler's ear.
Oh, cauliflower ear?
Mm-hmm.
Their ears are, the earlobes in particular are very chonky.
They got some thick lobes, son.
Suck on them.
Ew.
Prime appreciates the work the human duo has done, so much so that he makes them honorary Autobots.
We probably need to, maybe this could be another thing for our Patreon box, is to make honorary Autobot medallions.
I like that. We'll put the APDC logo up.
It'd be like on the flip side.
Yeah.
You could give them an option to get an Autopod or a Decepticon, but have the APDC logo on the back.
I mean, I don't know if I
Caleb.
want to give people an option. It seems difficult.
Yeah.
Whatever, I don't care. I'm not going to
Nope.
make it.
He sure doesn't, everybody. I'm looking at his face, and it says, I don't care.
Why did he even talk? I like how he's just now making them honorary Autobots. Like, had they not done enough in the past? And also, what about Chip? Is Chip somewhere just stewing over his lack of metal having?
I don't even know if I don't think we see Chip again.
Is Chip outie?
I think he might be Dunzo.
Okay, well.
Which is a shame. He's definitely not in season 3.
Maybe he died.
Oh, what did that boy have?
We don't know.
Polio?
Oh.
As for the Dinobots, well, we have to tell you good job because you bail us out all the fucking time and we want to keep your dumbasses around, so...
Yeah, Grimlock says, until next time, we no feel like it. Which doesn't happen because we don't see you guys again until the movie. Bums me out.
All right, we're at the end of this episode. As we said, this is the final appearance of the Dinobots until the movie, and it seems we barely hung with them.
It's almost like I've been screaming about this whole episode where we don't see them hardly at all. And it's like nobody knows how to write the Dinobots in an interesting way.
Ryan, tell a Dinobot story right now.
The only good Dinobot one that is their origin, the SOS Dinobots. That's the only good Dinobot episode.
But I thought you were supposed to make dinosaurs. God, I want to punch you.
You did this.
There's no new voice actors, but it's minutely notable that the Sentinels were voiced by Greg Berger.
Me, Greg Berger.
Throw that out there. With that, do we want to visit
in the real world?
All right, Desertion of the Dinobots Part 2 aired October 22nd, 1985. American Top 40. Hey, here's a little peek behind the curtain. What's this? A peek behind the curtain.
Well, we need to oil our curtain.
I know, it's real fucked up. Just due to scheduling, we're recording the next few episodes out of order. So next episode will actually cover what was really number one on this week. Today, because this next episode takes place like 3 days after this one came out. Mm-hmm. Today we have a number one song for 2 weeks in March and April of '85. Phil Collins, "One More Night."
One more night, give me one more night, one more night, 'cause I can't do forever. Give me just one more night, ooh, just one more night, oh, one more night, 'cause I can't do forever.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first single off of Mr. Collins' third album, No Jacket Required, and his second number one single. The first number one single was Against All Odds. Also a soft jam.
So was Phil Collins always in Genesis?
Yes.
He was the Genesis drummer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Peter Gabriel leaves the group, but then Phil Collins has a solo career. Then he puts out more albums with Genesis.
Yes, but Peter Gabriel isn't in that later incarnation of Genesis.
Right.
That's
He
fair.
leaves but when after Peter, okay.
So does
Did Phil-
does Genesis cease to exist, and then Phil Collins does a single
Right.
career, and then Genesis
they get
gets
back
back
together?
together?
Yeah, they call that a hiatus.
Oh, all right.
And did they hiatus as soon as Peter Gabriel left the band, or is there a body of work that exists
Ooh.
with Phil Collins as the lead singer prior to his solo career?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to look.
Listeners, let us know.
Do the work for us.
I-
You won't, you
I-
lazy.
I
You
take-
won't, and we don't care.
I tell you what is a fun thing to do is to Google Peter Gabriel's costumes when he was in Genesis, because they are outrageous.
Simply outrageous.
It's more interesting to me than their music.
Oh, wow, shots fired at
they were
Genesis.
they were a prog rock band, and they had some good stuff. I'm just not into it.
All right. Well, Phil said this song was completed, quote, very quickly while he was noodling around on his drum machine, a Roland TR-808, for those keeping score of Phil Collins' drum machines.
No, nothing sounds quite like an 808 money making, super disco breaking Manhattan in the house.
We have a Twitter follower who has like that as their
Yep, we have a
as
Twitter follower that has
their,
people
icon,
Peter Gabriel.
which
in
Aaron has
costume.
just looked up.
He has this
Peter
bat
Gabriel Genesis.
sort of, what do you call that neck piece?
Bat wings. Yeah, it was all.
Wow,
flower.
he is fucking emo before emo.
There
Actually, I love Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, Sledgehammer, baby. There are two entries in the critical reception portion of the article, of the Wikipedia article on this page, which are fairly hilarious. They seem like whoever wrote them or put them in there really wanted to illustrate how critics are dumb or something. So the first one is Robert Hilburn of the LA Times originally disliked the song, but later praised it, saying that Collins' soulful but polite vocal style is also capable of capturing the pain of going through yet one more night without her, which is the longest way of saying nothing that I've ever fucking heard. The second one is Keegan Hamilton of the Riverfront Times thought it was the worst track on the album, saying the album's introspective slow jam wallows in self-pity. It ends with a saxophone solo so smooth that I can't believe it's not butter. Which, again,
I hate this.
is terrible, like a terrible thing. But he did write that, so maybe don't write it like an idiot. Number one at the box office. Again, we cover the true forgettable number one in the next episode. This one, I thought we'd talk about The Breakfast Club.
Cool.
I presume you guys have seen this.
Oh yes, many times.
Never heard of it.
It really bothers Aaron. Ryan's even bothered by it, even though Aaron's lying.
I don't even look at him.
Well,
It
really
made
thrown
me-
off. This was written and directed by John Hughes. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a Brat Pack movie where 5 high school students meet in Saturday detention to discover common ground and maybe a little bit more about themselves. Starring Judd Nelson, who plays Hot Rod
Yes.
in the movie,
Yes.
Emilio Estevez, Paul Gleason, Anthony Michael Hall, Molly Ringwald, and Ali Sheedy. I guess apparently there was a lot of ad lib in this, like that whole sequence where they sit in a circle and talk about why they're in detention. I guess he just let them go.
That's cool. It worked.
I mean, they're no APDC improv game, but
No. That's a great. It's
it
a
does
great
work.
film.
Judd,
Are you trying to say we were not visited by Icelandic
I was
terrorists?
not specific.
Okay.
We've done other things.
Okay.
Judd Nelson sounds like a nightmare to work with. Honestly, I don't know if he changed later, but he sounds like a super shitty like method, like Jim Carrey style. He apparently antagonized Molly Ringwald in character even when they were off set, and went undercover at a local high school outside Chicago where it was shooting and convinced the teenagers that he was a student and bought them beer with his fake ID. He was 24 at the time. Nelson told them to drop him off at the hotel where the actors were staying. Years later, reflecting on his antics, Nelson said, "They would ask me why I was staying there, and I told them my dad was in jail. I'm staying at the Westin O'Hare while my dad's incarcerated."
Oh, good God. That sounds corny as
Sounds
shit.
up his own
And
ass.
I don't feel, also, I just don't think it's true to character. Like the character would be going out of his way to buy kids beer.
I just don't think any of that was necessary.
No.
For what he was doing. I think he.
I just needed to get in the head of a degenerate by being an actual degenerate.
I think he was just sounds sadistic.
In another connection with Transformers, that Judd Nelson was asked to play around with the end scene where he walks toward the camera on the football field and pumps his fist in the air, and that was just one of the takes that he did, and they kept it, and it was homaged in the 2018 Bumblebee movie.
Oh, what's the first connection to Transformers?
He was Hot Rod.
Who?
Why are you doing this?
Keep it going.
There are obvious problems with this movie. If you watch it today, like why on earth would anybody root for John Bender, who appears to be a serial killer, or why we're supposed to be happy that Ali Sheedy needs a makeover to become pretty, or that Anthony Michael Hall is just farmed out to do their homework, or that John Bender seems to commit some kind of sexual assault on Molly Ringwald while he's hiding under the table.
That's right. Oh,
Holy
no.
shit, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time. I mean, I still like it with all those caveats. You know, as we age, like, things are going to obviously become, in retrospect, problematic and horrible. I will put this on our website, but in researching this, Molly Ringwald has an excellent article about her conflicted feelings about working with John Hughes, not only in this, but 16 Candles, where there's a lot of other problems in that movie, and I'll link that, but it's great. I know you
Fucking
won't...
Anthony Michael Hall is a potential school shooter in this movie, and
It's
the
true.
best character is the fucking jock. Like, the jock who we should just hate is actually a good person.
I don't know if he is. He participated in extreme bullying of another person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
talks
He
about
did. Yeah. But he seems the most self-reflective.
Ali
and sensitive
Sheedy's the
about
only
it.
good person.
Yeah,
She's
you're
just
right.
there because she didn't have anything to do.
You're right. She is.
Anyway, it crushed box office wise. It made $51.5 million on a $1 million budget. There were 14 people in this cast. Only 6 of them have names. Yeah,
There's a janitor.
Carl.
He has a name. That's right.
Actually,
Who
it might
else?
be 7 because there's Carl.
parents don't have
There's
names.
Vernon, who's the principal. Then there's the 5 who are in detention. Yeah. All right. Well, lastly, in the real world, on the TV guide cover, we have an actual new TV guide cover, guys.
Yay.
Guess what, Fig Nuts? I wrote that for some reason. I guess I thought that was funny. This cover goes from October 19th to the 25th of 1985. The cover stories.
Give us the cover story name. We want to guess who's on the cover.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you the first 2 that aren't on the cover, which is Mickey Mantle's World Series Memorial Memories
Aw.
and Secrets of Vitality by Katharine Hepburn,
Don't
which
care.
I guess worked because she lived to 96, but it seems like the last 20 years were not optimal. So maybe just don't take her advice. I mean, there's no way I can tell you who. What do you want me to tell you if you can guess?
This
If you, I didn't know if there was a title, and then we would guess who's on the cover based on
unless
that
the
title.
literally gives it away.
Yeah, the title.
It does.
It's like Sally
What's
Field
the
and
ti-
Burt Reynolds
what's
are in love.
Lay it on us.
Okay, maybe it doesn't. Will there no spring chicken humor become the talk of the nation?
No Spring Chicken. Golden Girls? No, Golden Girls wasn't out yet. Mama's Family?
Will no spring chicken humor be the
Talk of the nation.
It has to be about old people, and it has to be a comedy.
Your second guess was not bad. What was the show again?
Mama's Family.
Mama's
Vicki
Family.
Lawrence.
Um,
Which Golden Girls is a spin-off of, I think.
I would say.
I think that Golden Girls is related to Mama's Family.
No. No. Mama's Family is a spinoff from Archie Bunker.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, Rue McClanahan was on Mama's Family, but you're right. I don't think it's a spin-off of Golden Girls. God,
Ryan-
why do I know this?
Ryan laid on us.
Golden Girls.
Damn it!
It had just started.
Spoiler alert, it was a huge hit.
Yeah, it was. And the answer is yes, there no spring chicken humor will become the talk of the nation because that fucking show is great.
Oh, Mama's Family is a spinoff of a recurring series of comedy sketches on
From Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett show.
The picture on the cover is Betty White, B. Arthur, and Rue McClanahan. The Golden Girls had basically just debuted on September 14th, 1985,
Holy shit.
and it ran until May 9th, 1992.
Not bad.
It
That's
won
a good run.
a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series twice, 3 Golden Globes for Best Series, and each of the 4 stars won an Emmy, making it one of only 4 sitcoms in history to achieve this. It's ranked in the top 10 of the Nielsen ratings in 6 of its 7 seasons.
Wow. Impressive.
I love that show. And
It's
I watched
great.
it recently. It holds up. It's pretty good. It's really good.
As a kid, I liked it, but as an adult watching it, you catch a lot. There's a lot of sophisticated humor. B. Arthur's character is the one that makes me laugh the most. Her just deadpan sarcasm is always pretty golden.
Pretty progressive stuff in there too. Like there's an episode about HIV. There's an episode about homosexual marriage. Yeah, and a lot of it about just homosexuality in general. And it's great. Like go watch Golden Girls.
Also, that hot ass Blanche just gets to get what she wants.
She's a real saucy number.
She wants what she wants and she takes it.
You know, apparently, here's a little trivia. You know how at the end of a lot of episodes they would eat cheesecake in the kitchen. B. Arthur fucking hated cheesecake, so that's real acting.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Sucks.
B. Arthur was a spinoff of Archie Bunker.
Maud. That's where I was getting that from.
We were not totally stupid there. All right.
That's all for the real world.
By my outline, we'd go to script.
Script deviations.
I don't have any. I couldn't find this online. There's nothing really to talk about.
Okay. Fantastic. On to the next segment.
Rate it, Caleb. Rate the fucking scheme.
Rate that scheme.
Well, the Autobots did have a plan, and Spike's dad was a consummate. He did really good in this.
Honestly, like making them honor. Also, they didn't give Sparkplug a medallion.
Yeah, Sparkplug.
He did it all.
Yeah, I would say Sparkplug, like, actually is one of the underrated heroes of this episode. I would say the scheme is a decent scheme, but the funny thing is the reason it worked out so well is because Sparkplug was leading it and not Optimus Prime.
Yeah, that's where I got to.
If Optimus would have been in charge of this, it would have gone to fucking shit really quick.
Yeah, that's where I got to it, where it's like he should have been an honorary Autobot, but that would have been like downgrading him.
He should have been an honorary Autobot leader.
Yeah.
The weird thing about this is they grab the Cybertonium, they get back, they heal all the Autobots, but I guess eventually the Decepticons.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
What about the? How did it?
You think if they really wanted to get clever, they could have planted a bomb and then left it behind to blow up the space bridge after they got
Megatron's still laying on the floor somewhere.
Yeah.
Or like once you guys get healed, maybe now the Decepticons are incapacitated. Go get them.
Yeah, I would say this is their time to shine and get them.
But we all know they don't take initiative.
They
so.
don't. They
Right.
don't.
No.
They just give out medallions.
They'd spent time making these medallions while the Decepticons got their Cybertonium.
We can.
I am the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know, I will say for me, it was the Laserdisc documentary. That was my favorite part by far.
I agree.
I also love seeing Swoop get a lot of screen time and spending time with him.
If I had to pick another one, I do like, for some reason, and remember the transit system, them flying around.
You are obsessed with this tube system.
Oh my gosh!
What?
No, you're calling me out on being obsessed with something, Mr. Dinobot.
He called you Mr. Dinobot. What is your retort, good sir?
I shit my pants. Faced.
More of Cybertron being exposed.
Show me your tits, Cybertron.
Put them on the
Cybertron
glass.
gone wild.
Next time on the Autopod Decepticast.
We're going to skip an episode in the production timeline. And speaking of timeline, a small crew of cons and bots are going to find their way to the 6th century where dragons are real and Stanley Tucci casts a magic spell on your heart.
Huzzah!
On your heart.
Indeed. If you'd like to support us, you can do it in one of two ways, via Patreon or by purchasing some merch at our APDC store. Check out the goods at our website, autopoddecepticast.com, or patreon.com/APodDcast. And if you're an Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, TuneIn user, keep fucking listening. Share it with your friends. If they show even a mild interest in robotics, aliens, cartoons, oxygen, you know how to use that button.
5 stars, please.
Follow us on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at APodDcast. And you can visit the aforementioned AutopodDecepticast.com. What you going to put up there, Ryan?
One More Night.
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls. The whole, probably that whole section of the Laserdisc documentary from the episode.
It's so good.
Anything else?
No.
Stanley Tucci.
That's for next episode.
Gotcha.
Let's
Wait
not get
for
ahead of
it.
ourselves.
Bath bombs.
Oh yeah, I'll put up pictures of that in the recipe.
Cool.
I am not convinced anybody reads or looks at them, but
They're there for posterity.
they exist.
It's a recorded history of the Autopod Decepticast.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Goodbye.
Good episodes.
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes, 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 yes.